Hello and welcome to a 2v2 cast. Starting off, we have zeetorq playing as the Warlock with a really nice custom colours skin. Oops. Hello and welcome to a 2v2 cast. Starting off, we have zeetorq playing as the Warlock with a really nice custom colour scheme. We have Floid playing as the Plague Champion. And for red team we have Expendable Youth playing as the Chaos Sorcerer and DarkHero playing as the Mekboy. And to sign off, they're both speaking Italian to each other, which I do not understand, but maybe someone in the audience can. Already some engagement pretty about to go down here. Some CSM going to be firing away at this Warlock, as Warlock does actually capture the forward power node, and even actually nodes it himself. This is actually meant to be Expendable Youth's power node, or if you split the map in half it would be his anyway. That's been rushed there by zeetorq with his Warlock, and zeetorq probably going to be enjoying that early amount of power here, given that he's an Eldar player. Although power income is shared amongst both players, so it's not as effective for him as such, but it will be also benefiting Floid, but Floid being Chaos probably wants the requisition a little bit more than the power. But already some grouping going on between both players running towards this center this center crater area, I guess you would call it. Both players grouped up very early on. zeetorq is on the flank, but zeetorq not wanting to engage two armies at the same time, whereas Floid is actually pretty spread out right now. He's actually going around capping his area still, and already an immolator has been purchased. Floid is going to need to come in at some point to try and help out. He does actually have some units in the area, but zeetorq is going to get caught out here. His Warlock is going to go in, Banshee's going to come in as well. Banshee's and Die is taking a lot of damage. The Warlock is retreating away. And already some big shooter upgrades here for DarkHero. Both players just really grouped up here for red team, and going to be quite a scary force together. And already a full generator farm has also been placed down at the same time. Meanwhile, the Plague Champion is coming in right now at the same time. Expendable Youth DarkHero has actually got his Mekboy doing some camping off to the side here, which is going to be very annoying there for blue team. And Warbanner is also getting placed down at the same time. And currently a 2-0 cap already here for red team. They're going to have a nice VP advantage to start the game off with. Problem is that this power is still actually loaded for them, so they're not actually able to have access to it. But even with that happening, red team still has the superior power economy just from the fact that they've actually got a triple generator farm down so early on. Meanwhile, blue team doesn't actually have a power node on either of their natural powers right now, so they will need to do that at some point. These grenade launcher heretics as well, taking a lot of damage here from the immolator. In fact, just the stat, he's just standing in the immolator with his CSM. Really needs to move when that happens. The zeetorq going to get forced off once again there. His Warlock taking too much damage. The Mekboy also going to get forced off as well from mid. Was getting a cap onto it after Floid did actually decap it. But Warban's going to go up, and red team still just grouped together, very static in this one area, trying to gain control of this entire area. Floid in mid, going to be fighting these double shooters, is behind green cover, or I think this might be yellow cover in fact, given how much damage he's taking. He's taking so much damage right now, should probably just retreat away now. Double shooters with the big shooters, and even a knob leader as well, just an insane amounts of DPS. And I really am thinking that this is yellow cover, because that is so much damage if it was green cover otherwise. But the CSM will be able to pick off a couple of shooter boy models without losing any models. Okay, I said that. Their model just went down there on the ground in this area. Very unfortunate there for Floid, but the Mekboy is going to go in, and meanwhile Expendable Youth is going to be fighting zeetorq here. Grenade barrage needs to go down. Grenade barrage will go down. zeetorq is going to get forced off. DarkHero is still trying to melee down these Havocs. The Havocs are going to kill him in melee if he's not careful. He'll be able to teleport out there with 10 HP. Havoc's going to get unset up. Meanwhile, the Warlock on the other side is still fighting. Havocs are going to probably go down here. The Mekboy will get out of there alive. The Warlock will go down. Havoc's going to get out of there with just 24 HP. He was able to actually get suppression off before he dies. And Banshees are going to be running away here. Red team still have not put down a generator farm here. Meanwhile, blue team put down one generator here, two generators at the more natural generator farm. And Expendable Youth is going to be coming in for a power bash. Potentially going to be coming in here for a power bash. is not coming in here for a power bash. He's just sitting here idle for now, but will be going in here for a bit of a power bash. But zeetorq is able to now react in time because he's actually managed to get out a base and reinforce all of his units. On the left hand side, the dark double shooters going to be moving into the area. Sluggers presumably going to cap this VP, while the double shooters going for a more aggressive cap since these sluggers are unupgraded, so not going to be as good in the fight compared to these double shooters who are putting out so much range damage right now. Expendable Youth going to be the first person to take up to tier 2, and a full generator farm has now been completed here for red team. Meanwhile, blue team have also completed their full 2 generator farms at the same time. But the double CSM going to be sitting quite far back here in mid. A warband is going off. I don't actually know if that affects allies. I'm going to assume that it doesn't, or at least doesn't affect Orc allies. Sigil the Rift to try and pull in some Dire Avengers here will miss, and DarkHero is going to be coming in here with his Mekboy. Meanwhile, in mid, Floid is actually capping the entire area, and Banshee taking a loss of damage here. DarkHero is coming in with the rest of his forces, and he will be making his way towards mid against Floid, and even that Mekboy turret is going to be going down here. The Mekboy turret does not actually suppress, but it does actually do full damage at all ranges, although it still doesn't do that much damage, to be honest. Overall, DarkHero is getting forced away from mid from the Havoc setup here by Floid, because Mekboy is too busy building turrets to actually go in and interrupt. Melee Heretics taking a lot of damage here from that Immolated Warlock. The Immolated Warlock will be going down. Dire Avengers taking a loss of damage as well here, and they will be forced off. Meanwhile, DarkHero is going to be pushing in here. That Orc turret is finally set up, but the double shooters still need something to actually interrupt here. Sorcerer will be pushing in with his forces. Shooters back in the way here. The Mekboy is actually retreating back to base, so there's nothing to interrupt that suppression team, and Sluggers taking a lot of damage there from that Plague Champion who's armed with the fetid armor and the Sword of Undeath. That turret is managing to stay up. Problem is that there's no repairs in the area now that Sluggers and both the Mekboy have been forced off. Grenade Launcher Heretics with the Mekboy Global going to get forced off there. And the double CSM will be pulling out of the area as well. Double CSM still on full models here for Expendable Youth, and Floid CSM on full models as well. They were reinforced because a model was lost earlier. And some more talent going down in the chat. Meanwhile, the Orc turret is still set up here. Double shooters are sitting in the area, and these double CSM both upgraded with Eternal War here for Floid. Mekboy is now coming in to give that turret some repairs, and the Orc turret can also be salvaged as well in a similar way to the multi-last turret, so you can actually get a bit of a refund. I don't think the refund is as much as the multi-last turret. I believe it's only 50% instead of 75%, but still good nonetheless. And Sigiled Havocs coming in here. The problem is, well, you need to be careful when you do Sigil Havocs in, because they will remain set up. For all setup teams, they will remain set up, so do be careful if you try to do a play similar to that at the same time. The Chaos Sorcerer trying to arm himself with the Chains of Torment. The double CSM are still in the area. The shooters for DarkHero have been forced off. That Heretic squad will be able to tie up that CSM squad, and the Chaos Sorcerer is going to be losing horribly to this Plague Champion. Plague Champion, the Sword of Undeath ignores melee resistance, does 50 power melee DPS as well, which, and you can see all these zombie heretics exploding. It's absolutely brilliant. That one zombie heretic didn't explode though. But you do need to be careful when fighting the Plague Champion with the Sword of Undeath, just because of the ignoring melee resistance really makes a massive difference, especially against Tactical Marines, CSM and Commanders, and even melee superiority units or melee dedicated units as well. But on the top side, the entire generator farm here for Red Team was actually bashed here by this small force here of zeetorq during the engagement going on. You can actually see that the generators are no longer existing. The DarkHero is coming in to actually defend the natural generator farm. I'm going to call this one the natural because it's a bit easier to protect. And Banshees with the Distort Field on them, trying to take reduced range damage, also in melee combat with the generator farm, so they do take reduced range damage at the same time. The Stick Bomb's not going to melee, wants to try and keep it ranged and try and use their abilities. And we'll be firing their abilities at these double Dire Avengers. They're going to be fleecing away here. We'll be losing 2 models and double shooters going in. That's what I saw a sigil down there on the ground, but didn't. The War Banner taking a lot of damage here. 1 War Banner, I think 2 War Banners actually have gone down so far. Double shooters is going to actually pursue these Dire Avengers since they can fire on the move. It's going to be a bit too much for them. Meanwhile, Sluggers on this left hand side going to get forced off here, trying to go for a snipe onto those Havocs. Havocs down to just 2 models will be able to live, and Sluggers with the Knob and Burners upgrade. They didn't actually have those upgrades before. Definitely didn't have the Burners upgrade in tier 1. They were actually unupgraded in tier 1. but now fully upgraded Mekboy, taking a lot of damage here. The zeetorq still in base right now, and DarkHero is going to go in for a power bash. In fact, these stick bombs are actually set to ranged stance, but their slugger pistols really don't do much damage, to be honest. If it's anything like the slugger pistol, it does 1 DPS, which is not really much. But stick bombs do have AC melee skills, so they could definitely go into melee combat with the banshees. They throw some stick bombs onto the ground. The stick bombs are a little bit too late there though, and stick bombs do actually have a minimum range, so they can't actually throw it in certain, well, they couldn't throw it any further. Stick bombs have no weapon cooldown apparently, or no ability cooldown, sorry, so they're actually able to throw it once again. Floid going to be pushing in through mid. That was that did seem like a long enough cooldown for the stick bomb throw, but that does actually happen. I've seen a couple of times of recent where the ability, you can actually use it twice. It has like no cooldown. In fact, it happened to me yesterday with shotgun blast. I was able to use 2 shotgun blasts in a row with the same scout squad. Well, not intentional. Touch of Nurgle though. That is going to be very scary for DarkHero to deal with on the heretics. In fact, he might even lose a lot of his squads here. He's going to lose stick bombers definitely, and Shooter Boy is also in a bit of trouble if the Doom Blast is able to go off once again. But Floid also has his double marker corn CSM and Bloodletters on retreat path. DarkHero is going to be losing his shooters and losing his sluggers. And at the same time, Havocs are going to go down here for Floid. DarkHero going to be taking up to tier 3 zeetorq already, tier 3 Banshees coming in here, and Expendable Youth will need to be extremely careful now with his army in the retreat path. He does have all these melee units, double marker corn CSM, the Plague Champion, the Sword of Undeath and Bloodletters. That's a lot of power melee, but that is a really nice combination though. The Grenade Barrage into the Dark Flames, although the Bloodletters are able to circumvent it by teleporting. The Plague Champion not really caring about Dark Flames. Marker corn CSM actually taking a lot of damage from the Dark Flames Grenade Launcher Barrage combo. But there are some heretic zombies here. Needs to explode those heretic zombies. That is a really nice grenade though from zeetorq, just wiping a heretic squad there. In fact, the heretic squad, I don't know, yeah, it was wiped, sorry. I was getting it mixed up with the Floyd's user interface, but the bouncy shield though on that Mekboy is so irritating to deal with. And Mekboy will just be going around being very annoying, but the bouncy shield now running out. The Chaos Dreadnought is still in the area as well, and we'll be able to force off the Plague Champion and those Bloodletters. And just some capping now for everyone at the same time. zeetorq is coming out of base, so with his army, and Distortion Cannon has been purchased as well, and that should be able to hit this Dreadnought. Do need to be careful of friendly fire damage that D-Cannons can do, and it does do a little chunk of damage there. Banshees without their Exarch need to repurchase their Exarch, and they can actually fight this Dreadnought. Did he just heal that? You can heal vehicles with the battery pack. Okay, I really didn't know that you could do that, but he actually healed it with a heal pack, or not a heal pack, it's a battery pack. So I guess it should work on vehicles since it's a battery pack, but still. Something new, you learn something new about this game all the time. And Expendable Youth going to go in tier 3 as well. Slugger's still on this left hand side being very annoying, preventing blue team from actually having a third generator farm in that area just by keeping them on that left hand side. And Slugger's been so dominant in melee combat, it's very difficult to have a unit off to the left hand side that can actually go toe to toe with them. Kodai is going to get forced away from here in mid, but Floyd is coming in with his massive army. Meanwhile, Commandos here for DarkHero going to be throwing a burner bomb probably onto that Distortion Cannon. Shooters in mid taking a lot of damage, will get forced off, and there's the burner bomb with the Love to Daka combination to knock over that Distortion Cannon. And shooters in mid are actually going to go down here. The shooters didn't retreat whatsoever. DarkHero was focused more on his Commandos here. Banshee's going to be coming in for zeetorq, going to be knocking over the Chains of Torment though. Banshees have knocked them out of melee combat and can't actually attack anymore. You need to focus down this chain here, the Chains of Torment. You can actually focus it down, but you need a lot of, or you need a decent amount of range fire anyway to actually do that properly. Chaos Sorcerer, still no weapon upgrade on him, which is kind of interesting to see. Normally do see grenade, see a weapon upgrade, but that Chaos Heretic squad is taking a lot of damage. The special from the Warlock is going to finish him off. And Slugger's on that left hand side, still going around capping the map. The Immolator should be able to take down another CSM model here. Both CSM upgraded to the Mark of Tzeentch upgrade as well, giving you Inferno damage effects against heavy infantry, although I'm kind of surprised that he went for the double Mark of Tzeentch upgrade. Unless he's thinking or more worried about fighting Floyd in particular with his double Mark of Horn CSM. But Dreadnought v Dreadnought now. Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnought obviously on the back foot because Floyd does have his entire army here. Blade Champion on that left hand side. He is probably ideal actually to fight these sluggers with the slugger knob, although ideally you want the armor of pestilence rather than the fetid armor when fighting sluggers with a slugger knob, so you can actually do the knockback rather than suppression. Chaos Dreadnought taking a lot of damage, still very low. Have a taste been used onto that commander squad to actually heal them back up. I'm not sure if the Fire Prism is actually going to... It should be able to chase actually. Chaos Dreadnought is down to 156 HP at this point, although it just missed its shots right there. Commando's taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile on this left hand side, Blade Champion Slug is still ignoring each other. So far, Burner Bomb thrown onto that army there, and the Chaos Dreadnought will be able to live here. Commando is going to be able to barely get away. Mekboy just having enough energy to teleport out of there into safety. And a Sigil is going to go down here. Where's Chaos Sorcerer though? Chaos Sorcerer is trying to pull in units into his base there in front of that heavy bolter turret, but it's going to be unsuccessful. And it looks like he wants to try and push this power farm, but DarkHero coming in here with a looter tank. And the Blade Champion and Sluggers are just going around decapping and capping what each other are capping, and they just need to meet each other, fight each other, and decide who's going to take this area. Otherwise they're just going to constantly be trading in this little circle of the VP, requisition point, VP. It's going to be a nice little triangle. But red team down on units, 336 VPs to 287. Blue team definitely having the superior army here, just having more of an army in fact. Some more Italian going to be going down in the chat, which I still do not understand. And there's even a Shrine of Nurgle also getting placed down. Distortion Cannon going to be firing at these markers each CSM. It looked like it just misfired. Nope, it does actually fire. Look at the amount of damage though it's actually doing. And the Fire Prism coming in here with the sniper as well. Meanwhile in mid, Dire Avenger's taking a lot of damage from this looter tank here. The looter tank currently unupgraded, no reinforced plating for that just yet. And Mekboy is also setting up commandos onto this left hand side. Floid is going to have to move most of his army to this left hand side if he actually wants the area, or he's just going to have to give it up. But the looter tank going to be knocking back the marker corn CSM, actually missing its mark. It actually lands or gets caught on some terrain. Meanwhile on this right hand side it's just a bit of a standoff here. Bloodlust going to be teleporting in onto the commandos. Mekboy going to be suppressing here, but the Mekboy with that bouncy shield unable to be interrupted here. Grenade does get thrown down. Burner Bomb gets thrown down onto the friendly Mekboy. Mekboy teleports away here. And we'll need to reset up. The direction you teleport in is the direction that you end up facing while set up. When you teleport, I don't know if that actually made sense or not, but Banshee's going to get forced off. A looter tank coming in here for a bit of backup. These double marker corn CSM do have their aspiring champion, so they do actually have Melsa pistols. But Love to Daka, Burner Bomb combination once again. The Love to Daka will miss though because Floyd does retreat away in time. Double commandos though for DarkHero. Really was going for those sneaky caps or for those Burner Bomb Love to Daka combinations. But still somewhat static on this right hand side. D-Cannon and Fire Prism stopping Expendable Youth from doing any kind of push as such. And currently a triple cap for blue team, 329 VPs to 209. Red team will need to start pulling something out soon. Commandos with their knob leader do actually have the faster decap. You can see how quickly they're outgaining the decap right now on this VP. Mark of Zinch Dreadnought is not really doing a good job of protecting mid, is mainly for anti-vehicle. Does still have that underslung Storm Bolster, but that doesn't actually do much DPS when you consider how late in the game it actually is. I think it's about 22 DPS, which is nice, but it's not going to be enough to force off a commander from a VP, especially a commander that is level 3 and does actually have, I want to say improved armor, but it doesn't actually have any extra health from that armor. The Great Unclean One nearly complete here. Floyd taking up 2 tier 3 as well. Banshee's taking a bit of range damage here, and we have the Witchblade of Kernus on the Warlock. You can see the Feral Slash does also have the Providence armor as well, so can go invulnerable when taking a certain amount of damage. And when using the Providence armor, you want to make sure that you don't use any of your abilities as you're about to use it. So you want all your abilities to be off cooldown completely, because when you turn on Providence armor, all cooldowns are reduced by 90% and you get an insane amount of energy regen. And if you use your ability before that, you don't get that 90% weapon, that 90% ability cooldown reduction, so you're unable to actually use the ability for the duration, and it's really kind of makes you upset when you have like multiple opportunities to throw down the Ethereal Slash and it will, you just unable to because it's on cooldown. the ground clean one is going to be the line breaker here for Expendable Youth, which is going to be walking in here. Markov Zinch Dreadnought is going to be following that up, and imagine some capping is going to be going down with some of the units at the back line. Meanwhile, on this left hand side, Commandos fighting Bloodletters. Bloodletters going to get forced off. The double Markov Zinch CSM are coming in here, but Luftadaka and a Burner Bomb combination from the two of them, and now they can both swap abilities. So you can see the second squad using the Luftadaka, but the second squad did not use the Burner Bomb as well. So you can, with two squads, you can make it easier to combo the two abilities, and you can also you can do two combos of the same thing, because one squad does Luftadaka, then it does the Burner Bomb, and the other squad does it in the opposite order. I really don't know if I'm making sense of that, but the Markov Zinch Dreadnought going to be fighting the Looter Tank here. The Looter Tank, still unupgraded, does not actually have that improved armor plating. Meanwhile, on this right hand side, the Ground Clean one is pushing in and poisoning the army. The Fire Prism trying to do some work. That Plague Champion with the Sword of Undeath going to be fighting the Sluggers. Sluggers suppressed by that Fetid Armor special there from the Plague Champion, going to be doing a nice job here, but the Plague Champion isn't fighting Sluggers anymore, it's actually trying to move on to the Commandos. I think he could have kept on fighting those Commandos, kept on fighting those Sluggers instead. Meanwhile, on this left hand side, zeetorq is actually locked into base right now. The Grand Clean one's actually pushing in even further. Banshees with their power melee and the Witchblade Currents on that Warlock going to be very effective against the Grand Clean one's Citius super heavy infantry, and this red team push is absolutely changing the way the game has been played out. 188 VPs to 180. Red team now catched up on VPs is a triple cap for them, and the map control they are taking is absolutely dominant right now at this point. That Grand Clean one's still able to be alive, and even a Markov Zinch nuke going down in base, it doesn't actually do anything special compared to a regular Imperial Abyss, but it does look blue. And the Warlock is actually walking into the center of that. Banshee is going to go down here as well. In fact, Banshee's able to just about reinforce that. Orks is also going to be going down at the same time as well. I feel bad for zeetorq, he's really getting locked into base at this point. And double looted tank, well, no, sorry, double looted tank, double commanders and looted tank in the area as well. These Markov Zinch CSM getting chased down by the Banshees, but the Banshees down to just 2 out of 5 models, taking so much damage here, and DarkHero will be firing at them, and the zeetorq will be locked back into base once again. Now one push wiping so much from both blue team players here. 103 VPs for blue team, 180 for red team. Red team still in that triple cap. There is some capping going down this left hand side, but nothing for mid. So it's still going to be a 2-to-1 cap or a 2-0 cap at the moment. Loot tank now, level 2. Sluggers still level 2 actually as well. I would imagine that they would be level 3 by now, but they have been doing more side capping and actual fighting throughout this game. But the Commandos level 2. In fact, the Commandos are on higher XP than the Sluggers, which shows how much fighting the Commanders have done compared to the Sluggers. And even the Battle Wagon coming in here. There's a Land Raider Phobos coming in here for Floid, but I don't think it's actually going to be coming in time for it to have much of an impact. It is a 1-to-1 cap now, so the VP bleed has been neutralized, but the problem is that Land Raider Phobos is very slow, and the Plague Champion himself is quite slow. The Banshee is going to go in for a decap here as well, as the Mekboy does get a capture in mid, so the VPs will still be neutralized. In fact, in favour of blue team right now, but so much damage onto these Banshees. In fact, they may even, well, they won't get wiped, but they're taking so much damage there. The bouncy shield on mid, Plague Champion is just going to get knocked back there, and that bouncy shield is such a pain to actually deal with on the Mekboy when you go for such a melee heavy army like Floid has done here. But the Land Raider Phobos going in from behind, going to get a snipe onto that looted tank. Battle Wagon could be in a little bit of trouble now. Commandos also in a little bit of trouble. Dirge Caster should go off and combine that with zeetorq's Plasma Grenade. I say Blight Grenade, but it's a Plasma Grenade. And does try to combo it, but the Commandos are going to be a bit too fast here. Battle Wagon tries to run over these Market Corn CSM, even running over the friendly Mekboy by the looks of things as well. But Slugger's going to be coming in here to join the fight. The Commandos were for stuff, but Expendable Youth is going to lock down these double CSM with the Chains of Torment, and the Slugger should be able to easily win against these Market Corn CSM, since you can pick them off model by model, since they're all locked into place. Markov Zinch Dreadnought going to be coming in here for a Youth. Battle Wagon is still up on the field. The Mekboy has also been upgraded to the Beamy Looter as well as a source of AV. Beamy Looter does 160 piercing, or not 160 armor piercing damage per shot, and the Exarch game pulled in there from the Grand Clean one will be able to get a kill onto the Exarch. Meanwhile, the Mekboy doing so much damage here to that Land Raider Phobos is actually going to go down. The Battle Wagon can even switch and try and chase it down at the same time. Meanwhile, Banshee's taking so much damage from these Markov Zinch CSM. 59 VPs to 140. Blue team now on the triple cap. And the Eldritch Storm is going to go down, going to catch out that Grand Clean One, going to catch out that Marquezine Dreadnought, not actually stunning it. It does stun it at the very end, but if it stunned it towards the center, it would have taken a lot more damage. In fact, that Eldritch, I really thought it would do a little bit more, but doesn't actually do so. Phobos gains some low. Loot Tank one shot from dying, and the Loot Tank will be the one losing that engagement. Battlewagon might try and chase down this Phobos. It's down to just 24 HP. It's desperately trying to reverse into the base of zeetorq right now. 59 VPs to 59. Battlewagon will be able to finish off that Land Raider Phobos. Blue team so low on VPs right now, but still a 2 or a 1-0 cap for them at the moment. Red team about to be on a 2-1 cap now. The double commando is just on their side, going to be preventing Floid from getting out of his own base. But things are getting pretty desperate. The Marco Horn CSM might try and swing around towards mid. Meanwhile, an Avatar has come out here for zeetorq. Banshee's also here. The Avatar is more of a support unit, and the problem is that zeetorq has lost quite a few squads here. But these Banshees going to be benefiting from the Avatar's bonuses of 30% damage and range damage reduction. But the Avatar will not be able to win against the Grand Clean One in the straight up fight, I don't believe. I think the Grand Clean One does. I think the Grand Clean One wins. The Avatar does slightly more damage, but the Grand Clean One does actually have more health, and things are desperate. Mid can see that Floid is just sacking everything. Meanwhile, the Banshees and the Avatar are actually doing a pretty good job. The Exarch is getting pulled in though. Banshees do lose that Exarch once again. It's very annoying against Grand Clean One, and Floid has lost everything in mid in that push to actually cap the VP. Blue team on 40 VP. zeetorq will be able to get the VP here. Marquezine Dreadnought going to be taking damage, but not too much from these power melee Banshees. Avatar is forced away. Battlewagon now jumping into this side of the fight. Commandos all stealthed in here. Now Avatar is definitely going to be going down to just 1,800 health. The missile launchers are going to be firing away here. Commandos armed with those missile launchers. 1-1 cap right now. Warlock going to be jumping in here. Does have that Witchblade of Curdness. We'll be doing 70 melee, power melee DPS, which will be quite effective against those commanders. Problem is the Warlock can't really chase any further. Noxious Cloud going to get placed down as well onto the VPs, try and prevent the commandos from actually capping. Lightning Claw Terminators here for Floid in mid, or roughly in mid. Noxious Cloud will be able to force off the commandos from actually capping 40 VPs to 63. Blue team barely staying in the game, even though they actually have a strong lack of units right now. Providence Warlock is going to be coming in here. The problem is that there's not really much that he can do. You can stun him, you can knock him back during his Providence. And he's going to try and be a one-man army here, going to jump in with the Ethereal Slash, but it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, these Lightning Claw Terminators in mid. I'm not sure about Lightning Claw Terminators, but the Sluggers are going to be coming in, and Sluggers will actually do an okay job against the Lightning Claw Terminators. But that is going to be a dead Warlock. Dire Avengers trying to cap at the same time. Lightning Claw Terminators should just turn and focus down these Sluggers because they're doing so much damage to them. In fact, they're going to lose Terminator models here before they're able to cap. They do get a decap there. Battlewagon going to be sniping a model there. Terminators teleporting to safety. Bloodletters just down to 2 models here. Bloodletters are probably going to go down. Sluggers desperately trying to go in for the cap. Grand Clean One is still on the field. Red team are currently not capping that right hand side. Bloodletters really trying to wipe that commando squad. Sluggers desperately trying to go in for a cap here, and Sluggers going to go down here completely. Floid will be able to defend mid. Red team going to be able to cap that. Meanwhile, on this left hand side, Commandos going in for the VP. Lightning Claw Terminators are here on the scene to try and stop them, but they might not be able to kill them in time. We'll be able to land a special to actually knock them off the VP. Floyd still capping mid. Lightning Claw Terminators still trying to chase down Commandos. Lightning Claw Terminators are going to die here completely. The play champion has nothing to actually offer them in terms of speed or mobility. Commandos still set up in the area. That is going to be a dead Lightning Claw Terminator. Meanwhile, mid now captured here by Floyd. 35 VPs to 48. Lightning Claw Terminators now down. zeetorq trying to cap the VP here for blue team. Play champion get pulled in by the Great and Clean One. Will be going down here to the Great and Clean One as well. Meanwhile, on the side, Dire Avengers going to go in for the cap. There's nothing defending it. Actually, there are Noise Marines here, but Noise Marines will be able to defend it. Meanwhile, the Warlock does actually have the Distort Field on him, so to take incoming reduced range damage. Will be able to get a decap onto the VP. Not able to actually cap it himself. Red team going to cap in mid. Dire Avengers going to throw a grenade onto the Noise Marines. Going to be backed off because of the Sigil the Rift, and blue team unable to actually push on that right hand side. Chosen Plague Marines now here for Floyd. Did spend a lot of red on them. The Avatar is going to be going in here. Chosen Plague Marines going to be taking a lot of range damage though. tanks are quite effective against the Chosen Plague Marines just because you can kite them around so much, but the Chosen Plague Marines, I don't think they've got the tankiness to actually get the cap here right now. In fact, they probably do have the tankiness to cap it, but yeah, Grand Cleveland's actually going to pull a model away. Chosen Plague Marines no longer capping now, and VP is just going to be taking down here. Blue team getting very desperate for the VPs, but not actually having a large enough army to actually push against Red team's army this late into the game. And Red team are going to be able to win on VPs. They were losing at one point, but one strong push and wiping a lot of Blue team's units is going to be changing the tide of the game.